She's standing across the room, and every man in the vicinity has noticed. The kind of woman who makes conversations pause mid-sentence, who commands attention without saying a word, who carries herself with the confidence that comes from a lifetime of being desired. Her beauty isn't just genetic lottery luck. It's weaponized elegance that she's learned to wield with surgical precision. And while every other man in the room is calculating his approach, adjusting his posture, and rehearsing his opening line, you need to understand a fundamental truth that will separate you from the desperate masses. The most beautiful woman in any room has heard every line, resisted every charm offensive, and developed psychological defenses that would make military strategists envious. Today, I'm going to reveal the counterintuitive psychology behind attracting women who have unlimited options. Because the strategies that work on average women will not only fail with exceptional beauties, they'll actively repel them and mark you as just another predictable man who doesn't understand the game he's trying to play. Beautiful women live in a psychological paradox that most men never comprehend. They have infinite access to male attention, but chronic scarcity of authentic male interest. Every day brings dozens of men who want to possess their beauty, but vanishingly few who want to understand their humanity. This creates a unique form of loneliness that drives their behaviour in ways that baffle ordinary men. They're simultaneously the most pursued and the most misunderstood women on the planet. They've learned to build emotional fortresses not because they're cold, but because they're constantly under siege from men who see them as trophies rather than people. The beautiful woman has developed sophisticated filtering systems to separate genuine interest from superficial attraction. She can detect insincerity with the precision of a bloodhound, because her survival in the social ecosystem depends on quickly identifying men who see her as a conquest versus those who see her as a complete human being. This filtering process happens within seconds of meeting you. She's not evaluating your appearance, your wealth, or your status symbols. She's scanning for authenticity markers that indicate whether you're another player in the endless game of trying to acquire her, or someone who might actually see the person behind the perfect facade. Here's where most men catastrophically misunderstand beautiful women. They assume that because she's physically stunning, she must have a casual relationship with sexuality and intimacy. This assumption reveals a fundamental ignorance about how exceptional beauty shapes a woman's relationship with her own sexual power. The most beautiful women often view sexuality as their most sacred resource, precisely because they understand its devastating power. They've witnessed how their sexual energy can destroy marriages, derail careers, and create chaos in every environment they enter. This awareness creates a protective instinct around their sexuality that goes far deeper than simple modesty. She doesn't guard her sexual energy because she's prudish. She guards it because she understands that once released, it rewrites the psychology of every man in its radius. She's learned that casual sexual expression creates trauma bonds with men who become obsessed, possessive, and sometimes dangerous in their pursuit of continued access to her energy. This sacred view of sexuality means that the beautiful woman requires extraordinary emotional safety before she'll consider physical intimacy. She needs to trust not just that you won't hurt her, but that you won't become psychologically unhinged by access to her sexual power. She's looking for a man strong enough to handle her beauty without being enslaved by it. Beautiful women have developed unconscious testing protocols to determine your relationship with monogamy and commitment. These tests operate below the level of conscious awareness, but determine whether you'll be categorized as relationship material or temporary entertainment. The first test is temporal patience. She needs to observe whether you can maintain consistent interest and investment without immediate sexual gratification. Men who pressure for physical escalation get automatically disqualified because they've revealed that their primary interest is accessing her body rather than knowing her soul. The second test is social proof resilience. She'll watch how you behave when other attractive women enter your orbit. Do you become distracted, start peacocking for the newcomers, or maintain your focus on the conversation you're already having? Your reaction reveals whether you see women as interchangeable objects or unique individuals worthy of sustained attention. The third test is ego security. She'll present you with situations where other men are obviously interested in her or where she receives public attention for her appearance. Your response, whether you become possessive, jealous, or completely unbothered, indicates your psychological maturity and self-confidence level. These tests aren't conscious manipulations. Their survival mechanisms developed through years of dating men who couldn't handle the reality of being with someone who attracts constant male attention. She needs to know you can handle her beauty becoming a shared burden, rather than just a private privilege. Beautiful women can identify men with pornography addictions with almost supernatural accuracy. This detection system develops naturally through exposure to hundreds of men whose sexual expectations have been distorted by digital fantasy consumption. Men influenced by pornography approach beautiful women with performance expectations rather than connection intentions. They're focused on recreating scenes they've witnessed rather than discovering what creates genuine pleasure for this specific woman. Their touch feels mechanical, their timing feels scripted, their attention feels divided. The beautiful woman recognizes these signs immediately, because pornography-influenced men treat her body like a stage for their performance, rather than a person to explore and understand. They're more concerned with demonstrating their techniques than creating mutual intimacy. This creates an immediate disqualification, because beautiful women understand that men addicted to visual stimulation will never be satisfied with monogamous reality. They know that pornography consumers are always comparing, always seeking novelty, always mentally absent during intimate moments. The man free from pornography influence approaches her with curiosity rather than agenda, with presence rather than performance expectations, with genuine interest in what brings her pleasure rather than assumptions about what should work based on digital fiction. Beautiful women require extensive emotional connection before physical intimacy, because they've learned that sex without emotional safety creates psychological trauma for both parties. This isn't playing hard to get, it's protecting her mental health and yours. She needs to trust that you see her as a complete person before she'll risk the vulnerability of sexual intimacy. This means extensive conversation, shared experiences, demonstrated consistency, and proven emotional stability. She's not making you jump through hoops. She's ensuring that physical connection will enhance rather than complicate the relationship. Men who rush physical escalation get categorized as emotionally unavailable, regardless of their stated intentions. She interprets sexual pressure as evidence that you're not capable of the emotional intimacy required for lasting partnership with someone of her caliber. The emotional connection requirement also serves as a filtering mechanism for psychological stability. Men who can't delay gratification, who become frustrated by emotional investment requirements, or who interpret her boundaries as rejection, reveal character flaws that would make long-term relationships impossible. Beautiful women are exhausted by men who see other men as competition rather than irrelevant background noise. The man who attracts exceptional beauty understands that trying to compete with her other options is an automatic disqualification. She doesn't want a man who's trying to outperform other men. She wants a man who's so secure in his own value that he doesn't need to compare himself to anyone else. Competition energy reveals insecurity, desperation, and a fundamental misunderstanding of what she finds attractive. The secure man treats her attention as a gift rather than a prize to be won. He doesn't try to monopolize her time, doesn't become jealous of her social interactions, and doesn't feel threatened by her beauty attracting attention from others. This emotional stability is incredibly rare and therefore incredibly valuable. Competition immunity also means not trying to impress her with status displays, wealth exhibitions, or social proof demonstrations. She's seen every version of peacocking behavior and finds it boring rather than attractive. She's looking for authentic self-confidence, not performed superiority. Beautiful women who are relationship-oriented view marriage as a sacred institution that requires mutual sacrifice of individual freedom for collective benefit. They're not interested in modern relationship negotiations that prioritize individual autonomy over partnership commitment. She wants a man who understands that marriage means choosing the relationship over personal preferences when conflicts arise. This doesn't mean losing your identity. It means being willing to compromise your immediate desires for long-term relationship health. The beautiful woman tests for this mindset by observing how you handle small requests, minor inconveniences, and situations where her needs conflict with your preferences. Your response patterns indicate whether you're capable of the selflessness required for successful marriage. She's not looking for a doormat who has no preferences. She's looking for a strong man who chooses partnership over individualism when circumstances require it. This balance between personal strength and relationship commitment is the foundation of lasting attraction for marriage-minded beautiful women. Modern beautiful women are hypersensitive to men's relationships with technology. particularly social media and digital entertainment consumption. Your phone habits reveal more about your character and relationship potential than almost any other behavioral indicator. She notices whether you can maintain present moment attention during conversations, or whether you're constantly checking devices, responding to notifications, or mentally distracted by digital stimulation. Your ability to be fully present indicates your capacity for genuine intimacy. Social media behavior provides intelligence about your relationship with other women, your need for external validation, and your respect for privacy boundaries. Men who publicly flirt with other women, who seek validation through online interactions, or who document private moments for public consumption get automatically disqualified. The beautiful woman needs to know that you can create and maintain intimate spaces that aren't contaminated by digital intrusion. She's looking for someone who values real-world connection over virtual relationships, private moments over public displays, and authentic communication over performative interaction. Beautiful women aren't gold diggers, they're security assessors. They need to evaluate whether you have the financial and emotional resources required to handle the complexities that come with their level of attractiveness. Being with an exceptionally beautiful woman creates unique expenses and social pressures that average relationships don't encounter. She needs quality clothing for the social events you'll attend together, security considerations for public appearances, and lifestyle adjustments for the attention her presence generates. More importantly, she needs to know you're not financially dependent on her or threatened by her potential earning capacity. Beautiful women often have opportunities for high income through modeling, social media, or businesses built around their appearance. She needs a partner who supports, rather than sabotages, these opportunities. The financial assessment isn't about wealth accumulation. It's about resource security and emotional stability around money. She's looking for a man who can provide security without being controlling, who can appreciate her contributions without being intimidated by her success. Beautiful women thinking about serious relationships are simultaneously planning for the inevitable changes that time brings to physical appearance. They need partners who are investing in the person rather than just the packaging. She's evaluating whether you're building attraction based on her character, intelligence, humor, and compatibility, or whether you're primarily motivated by her physical beauty. She knows that beauty fades, and she needs to trust that your interest will persist through aging, pregnancy, illness, and other life changes. This assessment happens through conversations about future goals, family planning, career development, and personal growth. She's listening for evidence that you see her as a long-term partner, rather than a short-term fantasy fulfillment. The beautiful woman also needs to know that you can handle the social dynamics that come with being partnered to someone who attracts constant attention. This includes managing jealousy, maintaining confidence in social situations, and protecting the relationship from external threats. Beautiful women develop sophisticated systems for detecting authentic versus performed personality traits. They've been exposed to countless men who present false versions of themselves designed to appeal to perceived female preferences. She's looking for consistency between your private and public personas, alignment between your stated values and actual behaviors, and authenticity in your emotional expressions. Any detected incongruence gets you immediately categorized as potentially manipulative or emotionally unstable. The authentication process includes observing how you treat people who can't benefit you, how you handle stress and frustration, and whether your personality remains consistent across different social contexts. She needs to trust that the man she's getting to know is the man she'll be living with long term. This process takes time, which explains why beautiful women often have extended dating periods before commitment. They're not playing games, they're conducting thorough due diligence on your character, because the stakes of choosing wrong are higher for someone with their options. Exceptional beauty comes with hidden emotional labor that most men never consider. Beautiful women constantly manage other people's reactions to their appearance, navigate social jealousy, and deal with unwanted attention that ranges from annoying to dangerous. The attractive man recognizes this invisible burden and positions himself as someone who reduces rather than increases her emotional labor. This means handling social situations smoothly, managing your own emotional reactions to her beauty's impact on others, and creating safe spaces where she can relax her constant vigilance. She needs a partner who understands that her beauty is both an asset and a responsibility, someone who can celebrate her attractiveness without making it the center of your relationship dynamic, who can protect her from unwanted attention without becoming controlling or possessive. This recognition extends to understanding the psychological toll of constantly being evaluated primarily on appearance. She needs intellectual stimulation, emotional depth, and recognition for qualities that go beyond physical beauty. Beautiful women need partners who can successfully integrate into their social ecosystems without creating drama, competition, or insecurity among existing relationships. This requires exceptional social intelligence and emotional security. Your ability to befriend her female friends without flirting, connect with her family without trying to impress them, and navigate social events without being threatened by attention she receives indicates your suitability for long-term partnership. She's watching whether you enhance her social experiences or complicate them, whether you fit naturally into her lifestyle or require constant accommodation, whether you add value to her social circle or create tension through insecurity or inappropriate behavior. The social integration assessment also includes evaluating how your friends and family treat her. She needs to trust that your social circle will respect and welcome her, rather than objectify or resent her for her beauty. Beautiful women are intellectually starved in a world that primarily engages them through their appearance. The man who can provide genuine intellectual stimulation becomes incredibly valuable, because he offers something most of her interactions lack entirely. She needs conversations that challenge her thinking, expand her perspectives, and respect her intelligence. This doesn't mean showing off your knowledge or trying to impress her with your education. It means engaging her mind with the same intensity that other men focus on her body. Intellectual connection often becomes the foundation of lasting relationships with beautiful women because it's the rarest form of attention they receive. Men assume that someone blessed with exceptional beauty must lack intellectual depth, creating opportunities for those who approach her as a thinking person rather than a visual object. The intellectual stimulation requirement extends beyond conversation to shared learning experiences, creative projects, and growth-oriented activities. She wants a partner who will explore ideas with her, challenge her assumptions respectfully, and support her intellectual development. Beautiful women live under constant social scrutiny that most people never experience. Every outfit choice, every social interaction, every relationship decision becomes subject to public evaluation and commentary. This creates an intense need for partners who can provide genuine privacy and emotional sanctuary. The attractive man understands that privacy isn't just about keeping relationship details confidential. It's about creating spaces where she can exist without performance pressure, where she can be vulnerable without fear of exposure, where she can relax the constant awareness of how others perceive her. This privacy protection extends to understanding her need for confidential communication, respect for her personal boundaries around public displays of affection, and sensitivity about sharing relationship information with friends or family without her explicit consent. She needs to trust that you won't commoditize your relationship with her for social status, won't use your connection to her for personal advancement, and won't betray her trust by sharing intimate details about your relationship dynamic. Exceptional beauty requires constant energy management that most people never consider. Beautiful women must continuously manage other people's reactions, expectations, and behaviors in response to their appearance. This invisible labor is exhausting and requires partners who understand and support rather than add to this burden. She needs you to recognize when social situations are draining her energy, when public attention is overwhelming her capacity, and when she needs to retreat from environments where her beauty becomes a central focus. Your ability to read these energy states and respond appropriately indicates your emotional intelligence and suitability as a long-term partner. Energy management also includes understanding her need for low-key activities, private time together, and experiences where her appearance isn't the primary focus. She craves normalcy, but often struggles to find environments where she can experience it without managing other people's reactions to her presence. The man who attracts beautiful women becomes skilled at creating energy-restorative experiences rather than energy-depleting ones. He plans activities that allow her to relax, environments where she feels safe being herself, and interactions that energize rather than drain her psychological resources. Beautiful women often develop strong leadership skills and decision-making abilities because their social experiences require navigating complex interpersonal dynamics from an early age. The attractive man can appreciate and complement this strength without feeling threatened by her natural leadership abilities. She needs a partner who can lead when leadership is needed, but also step back when her skills and insights are more appropriate for the situation. This requires exceptional emotional security and flexibility that most men struggle to develop. The feminine leadership balance also involves understanding when she needs your protection and guidance versus when she needs your support for her own decision-making. Beautiful women are often simultaneously strong and vulnerable, capable and needy, independent and relationship-oriented. This balance requires reading her emotional states accurately, responding to her actual needs rather than your assumptions about what she should need, and maintaining your own strength while supporting hers. Many beautiful women carry generational trauma related to how their beauty has been perceived, commoditized, or weaponized throughout their family history. Understanding this deeper psychological landscape is crucial for building lasting relationships with exceptional women. She may have grown up with mothers who were jealous of her beauty, fathers who were either overprotective or inappropriate in their attention, or family systems that treated her appearance as a family asset rather than a personal characteristic. These early experiences create complex relationships with her own beauty that influence how she navigates romantic relationships. She may struggle with feeling valued for who she is versus what she looks like, with trusting men's motivations, or with managing the guilt and responsibility that comes with possessing something others desire. The healing-oriented man approaches her with understanding about these deeper psychological dynamics, creates safety for her to explore and heal these wounds, and supports her journey toward healthy integration of her beauty with her complete identity. Beautiful women often exist in multiple social and cultural contexts simultaneously, from professional environments where their appearance can be both an asset and a liability, to social circles where their beauty affects group dynamics, to family systems where their attractiveness may create complexity or tension. The attractive man develops cultural fluency across these different environments, understanding how to behave appropriately in each context while maintaining his authentic self. This includes professional events where her beauty might overshadow her accomplishments, family gatherings where relatives may treat her differently, and social situations where her presence changes the entire dynamic. Cultural navigation also involves understanding the unspoken rules and expectations that govern how beautiful women are expected to behave in different settings. She may need to downplay her appearance in professional contexts, manage social jealousy in group settings, or deal with assumptions about her intelligence and capabilities. Your ability to support her navigation of these complex cultural dynamics while maintaining your own authenticity and strength indicates your sophistication and long-term partnership potential. The most beautiful women thinking about marriage are evaluating potential partners for legacy creation rather than temporary satisfaction. They're asking themselves whether you're someone they can build something meaningful with over decades. This evaluation includes assessing your personal growth trajectory, your commitment to self-improvement, your handling of responsibility, and your vision for contributing positively to the world beyond just your relationship. She needs to see evidence that you're investing in becoming the best version of yourself, not just to attract her, but because personal excellence is a core value. She's looking for a growth partner rather than someone who peaks at the moment of attraction. The legacy vision also includes evaluating your potential as a father, your relationship with your own family, your handling of conflict and stress, and your demonstrated ability to maintain long-term commitments to important goals. Beautiful women understand that their attractiveness gives them access to high-quality men, but they're searching for the rare individual who combines external success with internal development, who can be both strong enough to lead and humble enough to grow, who sees partnership as the beginning of creating something greater than what either person could achieve alone. The man who attracts and keeps the most beautiful woman isn't the most handsome, the wealthiest, or the most charming. He's the one who recognizes that exceptional beauty requires exceptional partnership skills, who understands that her standards are high because her options are unlimited, and who approaches her with the depth, authenticity, and emotional security that her level of attractiveness demands. Remember, beautiful women don't choose partners, they choose futures. The question isn't whether you can get her attention, but whether you can build the kind of a life together that justifies her choosing you over every other option she has. That choice requires becoming the kind of man who creates more value in her life than her beauty creates complications. The most beautiful woman is waiting for someone who sees her beauty as just the beginning of what makes her extraordinary. Be that man, and you won't just attract her, you'll keep her